Hi, welcome. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm a little under the weather. If you knew me, you'd know that this is not my normal voice. So I want to welcome everyone. I'm really delighted to be here, and although I'm not feeling well, I really wanted to be here to welcome all of you and share with you just my experiences with Harvard and why what you might look forward to through your experiences here, if you choose to come here, and we hope that you will. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll go back and tell you about my relationship with Harvard, which is a long one. I'm a sociologist by training, and I study race, ethnicity, immigration, culture, and education. I teach here at the Graduate School of Education. And my book is called Balancing Acts, Youth Culture in the Global City, is about youth culture among children of immigrants at kind of diverse high schools in the US and Britain and New York City and London. And I have a new project on students attending elite universities, one of which you may be soon, although this is about undergraduates, again in the United States and Britain, and how these students think about diversity, multiculturalism, and inequality. So that is soon to be a book in the next year, so I'll be away in New York City writing that book next year. So let me tell you a little bit about my journey at Harvard. I studied math and philosophy in college, nothing to do with what I do now, really. But I decided, after college, I moved to New York City and became a teacher. And after that, I thought, okay, well, I really loved teaching and thought, well, I better learn something about this profession. So I came here to right across the street, actually here, to the Graduate School of Education and got my master's degree. And I went back to New York and taught for about 5 years. And I then decided that I wanted to kind of continue my intellectual journey and kind of sought different kinds of challenges than what I had in the classroom. And I came back to Harvard, and I have to say that I really agonized over that decision. I was sort of embedded in this kind of education world in New York City. There was a lot of alternative education going on at that time. Charter legislation was about to be passed. But in a way, one of the best things that I did was to leave that and come here to Harvard, and it helps me immerse myself in my doctoral career. So the nice thing about a place like Harvard is that because it's Harvard, most students really are coming from somewhere, and you're all sort of come here together, you're sort of thrown together. And this is not just the students sort of at your one school or department, but this is everywhere. You go to look for a place to live. You find roommates who, maybe they're graduates of some of another school at Harvard, or they're current students in a different school, etc. So it's sort of embedded in this. You end up embedded in this kind of community that I think is somewhat unique in graduate school. After my doctorate, I moved, actually while I was doing my doctorate, I moved to the UK. Sorry, I have this scarf, let me do that. To do some research, and then I was teaching there for about 4 years, and this opportunity came up at the Graduate School of Education, and I joined the faculty here, and so I'm back here again. So it feels like I have this kind of gravitational pull to Harvard. Every time I leave, I don't think I'm coming back, and then I find myself back the next a few years later. But I'm sure that my experiences have brought me back each time. And they've all been very different experiences. You can imagine doing really a 9-month master's degree, 10-month master's degree here, doing a much longer research-oriented doctoral program, and then being on the faculty is another experience as well. But in a way, these experiences have, one, opened up the opportunity to come back, because I'm sure that the professors that I had, the work that I did here, allowed me the opportunity to come back through the recommendations of my mentors and professors, other professors, as well as the experience, the people. There's sort of this extended network that goes well beyond what one expects. I'll just say that one of the things that I've experienced in all of these stages of my kind of time at Harvard is the resources. And when I say, I'm a sociologist, I don't just think of resources as money, although Harvard has a lot of money. And that is a good thing if you want to do research and you need money for that. But there's also a sense of the library, the most incredible library I've ever seen in my life. The people, I think that's been alluded to. There's a lot of kind of things that one doesn't expect, but these cultural resources, social resources, and of course economic resources that just make life easier. And there's, I have this feeling, and I think I've had this in the past being at Harvard, that I can do what the world is kind of my oyster. Whatever I want to do, if I need to, if I want to meet the U.S. Secretary of Education, and I have a good reason. I don't have a good reason yet, but maybe one day I will. But if I do, then I have a colleague who could make that happen. And I think our students have that sense of self-efficacy as well, and that is really a kind of, and again, that's networks. It's also kind of cultural understanding, the way how things operate. How does Washington operate? How does one get one's foot in the door of the policy world in education? These kinds of things, I think, are very much part of being here. I'll say one more thing about Harvard, which I would encourage you to do. There's always this talk of, and I give this talk to my incoming advisees, that you come here, there's so many opportunities, you can get overwhelmed. Really focus in on what, especially for our master's students, what are the skills you want to take away from this place, and focus on that in terms of deciding what classes to take, internships, etc. But I'm actually going to tell you something different today, which is that to sort of think beyond the kind of immediate professional needs and really kind of use this opportunity to really expand your mind. When I was, and take advantage of the fact that you're in this world-class university that goes well beyond the school that you are at. So when I was a master's student, I took classes in English literature, I took a class at the law school, I took a class in sociology. That was actually my first sociology class ever, believe it or not. My only sociology class before I did a doctorate. When I was a doctoral student, I participated in a program at the Kennedy School on inequality and social policy. So there are all these ways that, and resources beyond your particular schools, and I would really encourage you, if you come here, to really look beyond, and there may be professional connections, but it might just be an interest that you have, a language that you want to learn, whatever it is. So let's see. Let me stop there. The last thing I'll just say is that Cambridge is just a wonderful community to live in, and that's really true. I first came here when I was a year out of college, and I was sort of in my early 20s, and it felt like the right place. There was this kind of nice intellectual community that again went well beyond the Graduate School of Education. Here I am, many X years later. I have kids, and we live in Cambridge, and there's a really nice sort of, it's just a wonderful place to live. I have a 2-mile bike ride to work. It's nice and small, but it feels urban. We're close to Boston. And I can say more about that if people have questions. But I really look forward to hopefully seeing some of you in the fall. Actually, I won't see you in the fall, because I won't be here. Maybe in a year if you're a doctoral student. And I look forward to the discussion. Thanks.